Well, I'm going to be talking with Brian Zacher from Education for the Arts right here in Kalamazoo. I talked to him about some of the innovative programs that are happening here, and you got to see what some of these kids are doing. Here talking with Brian Zacher, who is the director of the Education for the Arts, right?
That's correct.
And you wear a lot of hats. You've worn a lot of hats over the years. So what are some of those?
Well, I mean, I started out as a practicing professional theater artist. So I was primarily, I only wanted to act if somebody was going to pay me a lot of money and discover me very easily,
Right.
and that didn't happen. And then I kind of found my niche being a teaching artist and working in schools and working with all sorts of different populations.
So how would you describe RESA? Because the Education for the Arts is a division of RESA.
Right, and RESA is Regional Educational Service Agency, and Michigan has RESAs and intermediate school districts, or ISDs, and they're both the same thing. So Kalamazoo RESA does everything from special education for Kalamazoo County school districts to education for employment, which is a CTE, Head Start, and Education for the Arts. And Education for the Arts is probably the most unique thing that Kalamazoo RESA does, because there aren't many RESAs or ISDs that have the kind of breadth of services that Education for the Arts provides.
And I remember reading about, is it aesthetic education? And I was wondering if you could kind of like talk a little bit about that. I've never heard that term before.
Sure, and aesthetic education is one of the many programs that Education for the Arts does with schools and works in partnership with schools. And aesthetic education helps students kind of develop critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
We really talk about description and analysis and interpretation. And we work in the process of experience before knowledge. So we get the kids kind of in the artwork that they're going to see, whether it's visual arts or a dance work or theater, we get them working like those creative artists would work, in the same kind of processes and techniques that they would use in developing their work, so that when a student sees a work of art, they go, I did that. I kind of understand where that artist is coming from. And then it allows them a kind of a personal in to that work of art. And so then the teaching artists and the teachers are trained to really kind of dig and delve into that and help the kids, you know, see things that they may not have seen and make connections within the work of art and connections with their lives and the community that they live in.
My name is Megan Van Lente, and I'm a middle school teacher at Kalamazoo Christian School. And we are involved in the aesthetic education program through the Education for the Arts. And as a teacher, I know it's really important for my students to learn more about art, more about how to think about art, how to look at art, to observe and notice things. And that really influences the rest of what students learn at school. As a language arts teacher, we do that a lot with books and with stories. And so what we do in the classroom with aesthetic education and viewing visual art or going to a show does influence the way that kids think about art and stories in general. And so it's really important to me to do that, to share this with students. And I really like the aesthetic education program in particular because we get to connect with teaching artists who are really good at the things that they do and at thinking about this type of art, like the visual art or a play or a show or music, and bring their expertise into the classroom with students. Just like I try to bring my expertise with books and with reading and things like that. I appreciate those artists coming in and sharing their knowledge with us and with the students.
And Education for the Arts now, that's divided into like a couple different segments, right?
Mm-hmm. And so aesthetic education is part of our K-8 program. So we've got aesthetic education, we've got our PACE program that does theater and dance residencies in K-8. And we do theater and dance because unfortunately schools aren't doing theater and dance in K-8. You know, most schools, and here in Kalamazoo County, I would say probably all schools have visual arts teachers and music teachers, but they don't have dance and theater teachers. So that's what our PACE program does. And then we have an alternative arts program that works with all of our special education programs in Kalamazoo County, and then also alternative high schools in the juvenile home.
Wow.
And so that's part of our kind of K-8 programming. And then in addition to that, the Gilmore Foundation, the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, gives us monies to re-grant. So we've got $100,000 for K through 11 students to get grants to go to summer camp, have private lessons, have all sorts of arts opportunities that their parents might not be able to afford otherwise. And then we also have grant programs for teachers to get more training in something that they want to do, whether they're an arts teacher or whether they're a social studies teacher who wants to infuse visual arts into their social studies classes. And then we've got another program grants. We do a ton of stuff with schools, but every once in a while, schools want to do something we don't do.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, they can write a program grant. So that's kind of all under the umbrella of what we call Arts for All.
I've been an Education for the Arts dance instructor for the past 12 years, and we teach 14 different schools over 9 different school districts in Kalamazoo County, which gives every high school student from grades 9 through 12 the opportunity to study an art form. And in my case, it's studying dance. And we're here tonight to do a performance, which is also classed as a final exam. And what we filmed this evening was actually a rehearsal. That's why you saw some people running backwards and forwards and going to and fro, getting ready for the actual performance, which is about to start. Well, teaching EFA is an incredible opportunity, an incredible honor. Not only do I get to educate and give back some of this wonderful art form, the discipline of dance that I've been gifted with as a performer as well as an educator, but it gives students a reason to get up in the morning. It gives them a reason to create, a reason to be inspired. It doesn't matter if they're going on to a college track program or they're dancing because they just love to dance and they're passionate about it. So we deal with all different types, all different styles, all different disciplines and all different levels.
Let me get it like.
This program is the best arts program in Kalamazoo County. It's the best arts program in my mind in the state of Michigan. If you come to the west side of the state and you're in Kalamazoo County, you can take a free dance class, a free art class. Not only that, you get credit for it and you fulfill graduation requirements and you pass high school. And you can go on to a college track program at Western Michigan University. We've had people go to Hope College, New York University. We've got one former EFA student dancing at Moulin Rouge right now. It is the best opportunity for any art student that's looking to do either recreational dance or study it so that they can be a professional performer.
Have you ever had maybe a teacher or an educator in your life that impacted you that you could kind of share about?
Oh, absolutely. I was part of a youth theater in Wausau, Wisconsin, and we got the opportunity to develop our own script based on Little Red Riding Hood. And so we had these artists come in who helped us work on the original songs. And I'll never forget that I mean, like, for me it was like, well, here's this like professional theater artist and musician and composer coming in to work with me. And then ironically, when I moved to Michigan and then started working more in Battle Creek and after Kellogg Community College with the United Arts Council, that theater artist and composer was Rob Hankins, who was the executive director of the United Arts Council. So it just kind of made its way full circle. But and so what I hope for Education for the Arts is that every student that we touch, you know, that the partnership with classroom educators and the work that they do with teaching artists, that something sticks with them. And not that they're going to grow up to be a dancer or a visual artist or an arts administrator, but but that, you know, that feeling that somebody cares so deeply about me and wants me to help me do the best and be the best I can is gonna rub off and kind of move forward in anything that they want to do.
So Brian, do you have a story that you can kind of share maybe with a student that you've seen that has made the transformation right before your very eyes?
Well, tons. But I mean, with our high school programs, I mean, one of the things about our high school programs, they're open to everybody. So you might have Climax Scott students or students from maybe some of our rural school districts who've never had much experience in the arts, to students who have taken lessons for their whole life. So all those students come together into our high school programs. And so students who want to have a career in the arts, we take them to the next level. Yeah. So we've had students who come back who say, you know, I'm going into media arts and you know, some great program in Chicago, and I'm like a sophomore or junior compared to the, you know, the students. I've had all these opportunities that they didn't have. Right. But I think one of the great things about Education for the Arts is we're not only there for students who want to have a career, we're there just to build their skills in general. So I've had the great stories of students who've gone through our dance program who are now amazing physical therapists, and they talk about, you know, I really got to know about how the body works. I mean, through taking EFA dance classes. Or I had a now lawyer who sent me an email, and he said, you know, I didn't become a theater artist, I became a lawyer. And in taking the EFA playwriting class, I learned how to craft a story and how to build a story arc and how to build this compelling story to move people. And I use that every day in my work as a lawyer. So it just runs the gamut, and it's great to see that we can elevate those students who want to go on to a career, but there's so much that we provide students who want to go on to any sort of business or career in their life.
You have got like the greatest job because you're actually making change, you know, that can be seen. So anyway, thank you so much for talking with me, Brian Zacher from Education for the Arts in RESA. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kim.
Open the window, lock all the doors. Spill all your secrets onto the floor. Remember the parties, remember the war, remember the wanting and what we endured. Swallow the silence, choke on the words. Blow out the candles and all that you learned. Remember your sister, remember her love, remember the cancer that filled up her lungs. I trusted you, I trusted you, trusted you, I 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 trusted you. Bury the hatchet under your tears. Run with the shadows till we disappear. Bury the hatchet under your tears. Run with the shadows till we disappear.
Support for Kalamazoo Lively Arts is provided by the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, helping to build and enrich the cultural life of Greater Kalamazoo.